Hi there, my name is Toby, and today I want to continue with my Aether Physics series. But today is very interesting. We're getting to another level. So this is getting very advanced now, and I suggest you look at the whole series, look through my playlists on my channel, because this is advanced now. We're getting to the real Aether Physics. So today I want to talk about the Human Codex. The Human Codex. Now we're talking metaphysics. We're talking real ether science. I'm going to explain to you how this works. And it's all about the fractal nature of the universe, the geometry of the universe. And geometry is mathematics, and both of these things are metaphysical. Geometry is metaphysical. It's not physical. It's an idea in consciousness. You've got a mathematical expression of a shape. That is metaphysics. It's not physical. It's in your head. It's in consciousness. You can draw it, that's physical, but it's never going to be perfect when you draw it. Only perfect in the metaphysical world, mathematical expression of it. So this is how it works. The ether is metaphysics, geometry, mathematics. Metaphysics interacts with physics. So when you try to put things here down on this, I've got all these crystals here, I'm putting them in a particular geometry, a shape, aligning them together. That geometry is metaphysics, but the crystals are physics. When I put the two together, I get technology. That's how it works. And that's how it works in our body. Our body is a particular geometry, the humanoid form. And I talk about this all the time. The entire universe is governed by the mathematics of the golden ratio. All the mathematics around it, incommensurability. And I've got to talk about this as well one day, but that's very advanced. But today, just get the idea. If you can understand the golden ratio, it's a particular balance. It's a balance that allows continual self-replication, but always new, always different. It goes on for infinity. So petals, when you get petals in a flower growing round, they follow the golden angle. There's one particular angle. And if you put the next petal at the same angle, the same angle, the same angle, it goes on round and round and round forever. In other words, every petal will fit in the gap between the other petals. So there's always a little gap left, and then the next petal's got to go in the gap. And it'll go on for infinity. So a flower growing with infinite petals will become a perfect circle. Geometry. That's how it works. But of course, a perfect circle does not exist, but a flower does exist. Do you see? That's the balance between metaphysics and physics. And that is the balance of the universe. And the balance of the universe, metaphysics to physics, is also the golden ratio. You see, the infinite ether is one, a single unit. But the manifest world is not quite one. It's the golden ratio, 1.618 something, something, something. It's an infinite, it goes on for infinity. It's an irrational number. So that's the proportion, 1 to 1.618. That's the proportionality between metaphysics and physics. Okay, it's take a while to think about that one. Take a while. Again, you've got to do the mathematics to understand this. But it means there's only one mathematical solution for existence. That's why it's called incommensurability. Well, at least that's the way I am explaining it. Because I've got quite a unique take on this. What I'm saying here is my own way of saying this. And I don't think anyone else is saying it quite like this. So that's why you've got to go back and listen to my lectures. There's no one else really to refer to in this what I'm telling you. But it will make sense. It's perfect symmetry, the universe. And I'm trying to explain this in a beautifully simple way. It all fits together with elegance. That's the plan. That's the map of the universe. That's the model, the ether model of the universe. And it's got to be real because it's based on mathematics, i.e. incommensurable mathematics. It goes back to Pythagoras, but it's timeless mathematics. It's going to be throughout all time. All advanced beings will understand this mathematics. So, geometry is metaphysics, and then you've got physics. And I've talked about physics a lot now. But the interface between the two is this geometry. The geometry trying to come into reality. That's the interface between metaphysics and physics. And the humanoid form is a particular geometry. So you can think of it like this. The soul spirit gets together, and when enough of this spirit gets together, it creates a singularity of spirit. Now remember, spirit is ether. I'm using different words to say the same thing all the time because it's a big deal. It's a big concept. I've got to use lots of different words. So spirit is ether. When enough spirit gets together, it will create a singularity. A singularity of spirit you can call a soul. Now what you've got there is a self-awareness. Now this self-awareness has got to create a method to interact with the material world. So it creates a geometry. You think about it, it creates a geometry. It's got to be a particular geometry, the most efficient geometry for a self-aware being to interact with material substance. See, there is only one type of material substance, and it only behaves in this one way, the laws of physics. There's only one set of laws of physics. Okay? And so there's only one way for the soul to interact with this set of laws of physics. That means there's only going to be one most efficient geometry. Okay, you've got to think about this. It's all about efficiency. That's what the golden ratio is. There's only one solution that will just work. It's got to be efficient. So there's only one efficient geometry or morphology for a self-aware being to interact with material substance, and it's going to be a humanoid form. Humanoid form. 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, eyes in the front, mouth, ears, all this, what we got. Now you can have lots and lots of infinite variations on a humanoid form, but it's got to be basically the humanoid form, and each one of those variations must still follow the mathematics of the golden ratio. It must be efficient. You can't have a being that's inefficient. You're not going to have a head of a fish and the legs of a monkey. It's just not efficient. Where's that going to live? In the sea or the air? It can't work. Only going to work because it's got to work with the way material reality works. And the humanoid form is the most efficient. So it's a geometry. And you can look at the geometry of this. Go back to Leonardo da Vinci. He's done this, the Vitruvian Man. So it's just a picture of a guy standing like this, legs apart, arms out, and you draw a circle around it. So you can see you create a perfect circle, and the humanoid form will fit in that perfect circle and a particular way you stand. So now if you stand in that position, you're going to resonate with a perfect circle. So I'm jumping ahead here. But you can see that now you're looking at yoga, qigong. When you stand in a particular position like that, like Vitruvian Man, you're going to stand in a circle. You're creating a circle. And you can create triangle, all different shapes. So he's looking at geometry and how it connects to the human form. The Human Codex. The pattern, the blueprint, the geometry, the external geometry of a human. The Human Codex. But of course, Leonardo's only got so far. He doesn't really understand it. He's just trying to think about it. But there's real science here. Remember, it's metaphysics combined with physics. And these two things resonate. There's a resonance between them. That resonance is what creates energy. The two connect together. The Human Codex, head at the top, 2 hands, 2 legs. Now, you can also see this codex all over the place. And people have done some of this research. So let's take, for example, some ancient monuments. You've got Stonehenge. Stonehenge is 2 rings, 2 circles. So again, all this stuff is to do with energy. It's to do with electromagnetism of the earth. And it's also to do with collecting cosmic energy. So it's done through resonance. It's done through structures. It's done through material substance. You know, it's got to be piezoelectric, magnetic, something. And it's put in a particular position to connect to the electricity of the planet. It's real science, but everyone knows that, but not many people know this. It's also connected to the Human Codex. And a lot of these things are. If you go to the middle circle and you lie down like that with your arms and legs apart, you will see it balances with the stones around it. People have done the research. So if you go to the middle of the Stonehenge, lie down in the middle, in the right position, The whole structure is built to connect to the Human Codex, the human geometry, a humanoid form. But remember, it doesn't have to be human, any humanoid form. So that's where we get confused. Is it built by aliens? Is it built by us? It could be either, but it doesn't matter. It's still the same codex, humanoid codex. So it's connected to that. Why is it connected to that? The whole of Stonehenge is in itself geometry. So it's a circle. The circle is the very powerful universal geometry, the most powerful one. Represents the totality of the universe, infinity. It connects to the earth, the globe, the sphere. It connects to cosmic spheres. It connects to the atom. It connects to energy spinning around itself. It connects to the plane of inertia around a magnet. All these things are geometry. These are manifest things based on unmanifest geometry. They're all connected. So it's taken a human codex, which is quite complicated, and simplifying it out into something bigger. And of course, the human is in the middle. The middle is the point of inertia, the central point of a circle. That's the infinitesimal point around the infinite circle. So you go to the middle. The human codex lies there, but of course the middle of the human codex is your heart chakra. The heart chakra. So that's the midpoint, the seat of the soul, the point of inertia in the human codex. And we'll have an aura around us that is a circle. You can create this. There's all different levels of the aura, by the way. I'm talking at a particular level, the central level, the master level. It's a circle, a sphere around you. It's the soul spirit combined with electromagnetism, that sort of thing. It will become a sphere. The magnetic field will become a sphere, a sphere. So the aura, etheric energy, so still some partially unmanifest energy, is consciousness, but also partially manifest magnetism, it become a sphere. There's a lot of levels between the ether and the material world, lots of levels between them. There's still one and the same thing, it's just interactions happening. Interactions happening. Now there's also a human codex if you go to Mars. So again, there's Mars, pictures of Mars, there's a pyramid, pyramids on Mars, there's a pentagram pyramid on Mars. And there's a face on Mars as well, they've seen that. But the pentagram pyramid maps with a human codex. You can lie the human like this on the pyramid. Someone's done the research. I got the book somewhere. But you'll see this everywhere. Again, now I better digress, is that are they real pictures of Mars? We've got a big debate now, because we know that NASA, they're not really showing us anything. We know that. It's well proven. It's all made up CGI. We know that. They can't show us the globe. They can't show us space. So they're going to make it up. And it goes back, if you look at black and white films from NASA, the early footage of spacewalks, and the very first footage when they sent a balloon up into space, what the stars look like. And you look at that black and white footage, it's rubbish. It's laughably fake. So they were always doing it. But not the reasons, okay, but also don't forget, space is still real. So some of this stuff is also real. It's a confusion. There's confusion here. You see satellites with Mars rover, there's too many independent scientists involved with it. Too many people built this. There's too much real science behind it to say that is fake. So the Mars rover will be real, but the images from NASA may or may not be real. You know, they got both, probably got both. Because you've got the Mars rover, there's a place in the desert, looks very similar, you can just set it up there. There's evidence of this. So I suspect it's a combination. Sometimes you might see something real, sometimes you see something fake. But you see a lot of this footage comes from amateurs as well, amateur astronomers. So telescopes are real. You've got to understand this. It's a complex deceptions going on. Elements of truth, elements of fakery. It's very difficult. But I suspect they don't want to show us space because there's too much stuff going on up there. Loads of stuff going on in space. And there's another guy, if I find a link, I think his channel was Scanner Guy 1968. All he does, he sets his camera up. He's got a higher resolution camera, and he films the night sky on time lapse all night in night vision, infrared. So in infrared, you watch the sky all night, it's loads of weird stuff going on. Got, platoons of things moving. It's all in the infrared. You don't notice it. We don't notice it. So there's a lot of stuff going on up there that they probably don't want us to see. And that's why they fake it. So I digress. But it means on Mars, I think that's real. There's a pyramid up there, pentagram pyramid. So beings up there would also be humanoid, because it's the same codex. That's evidence of it. And you've got ancient Hindu temples, If you look at the map of the temple, you will see sometimes it shapes like a man, a human being. The whole thing is shaped. It might be blocky. You've got these glyphs drawn in the ground, great big humans drawn. Again, they look primitive. Doesn't matter that they're primitive, they're drawing the electromagnetic field, an aura. They're drawing the energy field of a human codex. Why? It's resonance. You're bringing the energy, the unmanifest energy of ether, through geometry, the human codex, metaphysics, in a big way on the planet Earth. You're bringing it down. So these big glyphs of humans, these temples are to do with bringing energy down to the human codex. It's healing energy for us. They're all to do with healing, getting more energy, resonating with our codex. And if you do that, you go to the middle of this temple, they'll probably be in the heart chakra, special place, be in the heart chakra, if you could look at it. And then you go and sit in the middle of the heart chakra in this big temple, lie down in the human codex, whatever the shape of the temple is, focus in your own heart chakra. You've got a very powerful point of inertia all the way to the middle of your soul. Vast amount of spirit will come to you. You will advance spiritually. You would increase wisdom. You would develop the power of an energy body. Energy body means immortality, because you're outside physical reality. You're maintaining your consciousness in an etheric body. It's not a physical body. It's beyond electromagnetism. Again, the layers between ether and material world. But that's what it's all about. The pyramids are going to have the same thing in different ways. But it's again powerful, more simplistic geometry when you go to triangles, squares, circles, lines. Now we're going to more powerful geometry. And of course the most powerful geometry is the point. Nothing. That's the zero. That's the point of inertia. Energy comes out or energy goes in, disappears. Point of inertia here. So the human codex, ever so powerful. And we can play with that, you see. What is this training that I'm doing? What is yoga? Remember, Vitruvian man stands like this, creates a circle. If you stand like this with your arms at the 108 degree, this is 108 degrees, that's a particular angle, the same as the water molecule. You stand like this, you resonate with the water molecule. What's that? You like that? Collecting force from heaven down. Spirit is coming down to your body. The human codex, the geometry of the body, resonating with the water molecule. Function of the water molecule is to receive spirit. So now I'm structuring my water. Whole body is getting structured, getting spirit into my body. And you're making it more efficient through resonance. Resonance and the holographic nature of the universe. Layering up the pattern. Remember, the circle is the atom. The circle is the planet. The circle is the cosmos. It's all the same. You can look at it as well. Consciousness. Everything is consciousness. The human body, the human codex. You can think of it like this. The earth is in the heart. The moon is in the belly. The sun is in the head. But you can do different ones, many different ones. The Taoists have got all the planets. They connect to the internal organs. So the liver will connect to Jupiter. Why? There's a certain resonance between them. A certain energy, similarity of energy in that planet Jupiter to your liver. There's a certain consciousness energy behind that planet. Again, it's scientific. The position of it, the size of it, the structure of it, where it's moving, that's what creates its soul, its spirit, its sort of consciousness. It's all connected, and that resonates with your liver. They're all different ones. I talk about the North Star. North Star above comes down the center line through down to the Earth. The Earth is a globe, a sphere. The North Star is a sphere. You're in the middle. You're utilizing the codex, the geometry of the human body, but very simply, just a straight line. Straight line and a point. You, the soul, the heart chakra in the middle. So you align the human codex with the cosmic codex. Then you get resonance, and you focus it all to your soul. Then you build up your soul power. And then you've got to balance it. And you find the peace, the harmony. You become the eye of the storm. And that's what they call, that is the effortless path, the way of the Tao. And they're all doing it, all the yogis, all this stuff is to center yourself so you find a point of balance, then everything moves around you, but you're not disturbed by it. You yourself are in control. You are a creator. You are your own point of inertia, expanding energy out, doing what you want to do. But you've got a strong field around you that protects you. You've got your own aura. So this is how it works. Now think about this, there's a lot to it. Holographic nature of the universe. That means the same pattern is reflected on different sizes. The human codex is reflected in different sizes and different ways. And when you create structures, geometry, that integrate the human codex, you know for a fact that was a healing building. That was a powerful etheric temple. You see, it's not religious. It's scientific. But the science is metaphysical science, the science of your soul spirit. And those people who went in there knew that. We go into these buildings, I don't know what it is, you're just walking around. There's no awareness. You have to go in with full awareness, full power. You have to sit in the right spot, line yourself up. And if you know what you're doing, you line yourself up at a conjunction of planets. A particular time of year, the summer solstice, Stonehenge, it lines up. Back then, you want the power, line up with the summer solstice, line in the middle, come straight down. You've got all the power of the sun lined up with the earth, focused into these circles. And again, Stonehenge, bigger circle, smaller circle, loads of them. There's loads of stuff. There's lumps as well, mounds around there. Mysterious mounds. Again, there's only one guy I've seen done the research, but he spotted these mounds, and they're in the same pattern as the Pleiades star system. But it might also be the Big Dipper, which is the Taoist one. The Big Dipper is very important because it always points to the North Star. The Big Dipper turns around the North Star. See, it's all to do with geometry. That's what gives the power. So you have a geometric alignment with planets, with the stars, with the Earth, and then with the structure you built, and there's a line down the middle, a huge structure, more structures around. But the person in the middle, lie down in the human codex, the power. We can't comprehend the power. We're still thinking about technology. It's soul, spirit, technology, ether. Whole nother level. And the same in the pyramids. You've got to go and lie down. These things were not tombs. These sarcophagus, you go and lie down in it. Energy is focused into your center point of inertia. You're so powerful, you'll build an aura, you'll build an energy body, and you can just go and travel now. You just travel around the universe, wherever you want to go. You see, there's a problem trying to move us physically. And I talk about that alien technology, UFOs. You're still trying to move something physical. Forget about that. We're so low level. You build an energy body. You build a bubble. It's a real thing. Etheric energy. And you just go off. Wherever the hell you want to go. Totally different level. That's what all these ancient buildings were about. Even the cathedrals, they're different. They're not really different. They're a different type of mathematics, a different geometry. Very perfect. There's very advanced, complex geometry in the cathedrals and these palaces, the so-called Tartarian Empire. All this stuff is connected. You don't need to know the details of it, but it's evidence that there were people that knew about metaphysics, geometry, highly advanced technology. but it includes the soul spirit. These guys had control of ether. They had to. The geometry is so complex in these buildings, you couldn't get the artificial intelligence to design it. Yeah, design me a cathedral with about 500 layers of interconnecting geometry that all works together, all resonates in the middle, and all must connect to the golden ratio. And it's got to look beautiful, and it's got to collect electrostatics and resonate with sound. Build me one of those. Artificial intelligence, here you go. It's going to be rubbish. No one has done the analysis of the mathematics. There's a few diagrams of the front of some of these cathedrals, complex interlocking circles and triangles. It's going to be more than that. You're not looking for the golden ratio. You're going to have to look for that. It's going to be incommensurable geometry and the golden ratio proportionality, plus you're going to have Human Codex in there somewhere. But again, anyway, the Human Codex is still built on the golden ratio. The proportionality of each limb, the arms and legs, eye, everything has got proportionality of the golden ratio. So one of these cathedrals would be built with proportionality of the golden ratio. Again, you've got to research it. So when you come together, it's still going to connect. You're still connecting through the golden ratio. And again, one of these cathedrals, you've got a bell. Dong. That bell is going to be resonant with the building. Very difficult. They would know how to construct a bell that resonates the right frequency with the structure. So when the bell rings, the whole structure will resonate. And it will resonate to a point in the middle where you can sit or stand. But even everyone in there listening to sound, singing, chanting in there, the organs, it's resonant with the building. We messed around with it now, changed some of this stuff. Plus electrostatics coming in, plus the earth force rising up. It's going deep underground catacombs. It's all to do with the Human Codex. More than that, underground catacombs, you've got these crypts, bones. I'll leave a link to another channel, talks all about this, My Lunch Break. Brilliant channel. If you want to learn about old world buildings, he's the number one. Very exciting. But he talks about it, the crypts underneath. He doesn't fully understand the science. That's what I'm explaining here. There's a science to this. But underneath these cathedrals, churches, you've got crypts, bones, and some of them millions and millions of bones, all stacked up in patterns. It looks very gruesome. So you think, oh, what's all that? Again, it's energy. It's energy. It's not necessarily dark magic. It could be dark magic, but not necessarily. It's just energy. You see, the human bones are crystal. Again, it's the Human Codex. You collect human bones, various crystals, put them all together, you're going to create a coherence effect. So when you're moving bones in patterns in these crypts, building them up, you're creating massive energy, and it's underground energy of the earth. So the bones are connecting to the earth. But they are human bones, i.e. the Human Codex, human geometry. And they're organic crystals. The bones are organic crystalline substance. So slightly different, it's unique. That's why a skull, you have a skull, it's still a thing of power. You resonate with a skull. Alas, poor Yorick. But that's why they have it, all the witchcraft and magic, it's skulls and bones. But if you know what you're doing, this is not scary, this is not even dark magic. The ancient people will visit their ancestors. They have the skeleton there. You go to pay respects to your ancestor. It's a way of connecting. The Human Codex is still present, so you still resonate with that soul. Plus that soul, again, may still be off somewhere travelling, may actually still be alive in an energy body. And the skeleton here is connecting them to the same point. I talk about this in my other lecture series, Magical Science, the Progression of the Soul. Again, I'll see if I leave the link below, if I remember, but otherwise, Magical Science. Look through that playlist. So the Human Codex is very, very powerful. And if we understand that, that is what Qigong is. That is what all my exercises are. I'm trying to align the bones in their correct position that they are designed to be in. Now I've got the perfect Human Codex. And I can move it into different ways to find different geometries. When I get the right geometry, you'll feel the energy. It resonates. That's what yoga is. Different postures, different geometries, resonating with geometry, metaphysics, the spirit, and it comes to the body. And then, of course, they're trying to elevate it through the chakras. Same in Qigong. All of these things, that's all they're doing. Trying to progress the soul by collecting energy and enhancing energy, refining energy, circulating energy, and increasing wisdom. Connecting to spirit, getting more wisdom. And then you enjoy life. It's actually all about enjoyment. The end goal of this is to enjoy life. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be a pleasure. And this energy work is that. It's a pleasure. You feel it. It feels wonderful. And you get a feeling of satisfaction. When you've got satisfaction, that's your heart in balance. Contentment. Gratitude. They all talk about gratitude. It's not so much gratitude, it's contentment. Harmony. Balance. There's no desire, but you're enjoying life. Hey man, everything is great. Everything is great. Do I want anything? Yeah, I'm enjoying everything. It's fine. It's a nice harmony balance. Then you've got a good balance in life and you can grow. Your soul can grow. So that's what it's about in the end. The pursuit of wisdom is also still the pursuit of pleasure, because it's a real pleasure to gain wisdom. But gaining wisdom, you could argue, is the highest pleasure. Highest pleasure. Because when wisdom comes, whoa, it's amazing. It's amazing. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this made sense. Please do check out the whole series, Aether Physics, and think about the Human Codex. Look at some of these ancient things. You'll start seeing it. You'll start seeing the Human Codex. And different animals, all different codexes. When they create a head of an animal, body of a human, it's a different codex to create a different resonance. It's not necessarily literal. It's just metaphysics. So think about it. So thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.